Okay.
And so thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time. As I mentioned before, we anticipate this will only take 30 to 45 minutes, but feel free to ask questions throughout or at the end. So just quickly, my name is Tiffany Bauer, so I'm the person who's been on the end of many of the emails that you've been receiving. I have with me today my colleague Suki Kay, she's actually the one who's building the platform, so she's been doing an amazing job with that. The third person that you would have been dealing with is my colleague Kenrick Lynn. Unfortunately, Kenrick couldn't be with us today because he's ill. So Suki and I will get this covered off today. So just another note that the session is going to be recorded, so you can refer back to it. We'll send you a link to it. You can refer back to it if you need to afterwards as well. And yeah, please just ask questions at, actually we'll keep questions to the end because that way we would have gone through anything and then you can ask the questions. So what we'll cover today is, there we go, is a bit of an overview of the event, what you need to do before the event, what you need to do on the day, and what the platform will look like and what to expect. And we'll also be talking a little bit about how to maximise your speaking opportunity. So in other words, how you can let people know that you are speaking. So what to expect at the Virtual Cleantech Conference 2020. So we're anticipating about 200 online attendees across the 3 days. The ticket prices were reduced by 60% from the live event, so we're really hoping to get a broad audience for this. There'll be 3 half-day interactive live streams, and there's a full program of keynotes, panel sessions, breakout sessions, and of course the Knowledge Hub or Knowledge Bites, which you're all presenting in. There'll also be a virtual exhibition. So some of you I know are exhibitors also, just so you know that we won't be talking about the exhibition today, but that will be covered off in another session that I believe Suki is running in the coming weeks. There is also going to be a virtual meeting hub where you can connect with other delegates and virtual networking sessions as well. So I really encourage you, particularly as you are presenting, to make use of those and to let people know that they can find you in those hubs. You know, at the end of your presentation, you might just want to say, come find me in the meeting hub. And also we obviously the exclusive content, which will all be offered on demand to anyone who registered. I'm just going to our next slide. So before the event, all the things we need to do. So you should have all received an email that covered off presenting tips, how to pre-record your presentation, and a guide to the Aircast online event platform. We do need to make sure that you submit your pre-recordings no later than the 6th of November. And a Google Drive link was provided in that email for you to upload that to, and you need to record that in Zoom. So all of those instructions were provided in that email. If anyone didn't receive that, please just send me or Kenrick an email and we'll resend it to you. Now, the most important thing to remember here is that your pre-recorded presentation should be no longer than 7 minutes long. The reason for that is you have a 10-minute time slot, and that allows for 3 minutes Q&A at the end. The 10 minutes is going to be really strict because basically this is an online platform. We set the sessions for 10 minutes, and at the end of 10 minutes, it's cut, it ends. And there is a countdown clock, so it will warn you that you're getting close to the time. If you run out of time to answer some of those questions, I recommend that you note down the name of the person or something and then go find them in the meeting hub or tell them to meet you in the meeting hub afterwards. So just for our next slide, just some tips for recording. I'm hoping that you're all familiar with using Zoom for recording, but in terms of just make sure that your lighting is in front of you because that makes sure that we can see your face. With your audio, we strongly recommend using a headset and mic if possible, and record in a quiet space without background noise, which is not something that we're doing today. You just heard the bucking dog in the background. And also to speak slowly and clearly. I also find that when you're presenting, sometimes standing up helps. So you may want to look at putting your laptop or something, you know, up high and then standing in front of your computer to present, because it gives a better delivery. Also, just make sure, once again, going back to what I was saying about standing up with the framing, we prefer not to have the, you know, up under the chin view, so try and get your camera at that eye level. With your slides, we definitely recommend that you keep them more visual and don't fill them up with writing or text, because people just won't have the time to read it. And, you know, talk to your slides and let your slides just tell a visual picture. No dramatic pauses, because people will think that there is something wrong with the audio. So try and keep a nice flow, and make sure you smile and have some fun. Another tip, if you can, is to wear the same outfit. And the reason for that is we're pre-recording this, obviously, but if you wear the same outfit on the day, it makes it just look a bit more seamless, like it wasn't pre-recorded. So if you can do that, we recommend that. Just one other thing I wanted to put in there as well. The reason we are asking you to pre-record these sessions is because we will make them available on the online platform for the duration of the conference. And the reason for that is because the Knowledge Hub was originally designed to be on our exhibition floor in a live event setting, so that the trade visitors, of which we have a lot of registrations for that, we just need to ensure that they can access your presentations the whole time. So when you are talking to anybody that you're networking, you can say to them, you can access my presentation at any time. So we're just going to do a bit of an overview quickly of the Aircast Studio, so you know what it will look like. I just want to let you know that it's very different, or quite different, from Zoom. Because this is a comprehensive online studio, basically. So this is kind of the screen that you'll see, and we're just starting from the top here. We have our information header, and this contains the session information, session status, and the external clock. So the countdown clock that I was talking to you about, that's in the top right-hand corner there in red. You will need to keep an eye on that, because that will count you down into your session, and it will count you down out of your session as well. The next one we've got here is that main screen is our main stage, and the location of up to 9 live streams of presenters, screen shares, and media viewable by all of our virtual attendees. The preview pane, this is where the host can organise presenters and media and decide both the layout on the main stage as well as the location of each stream in the main stage. So this is actually controlled by our AV team, and you may see this change as they move things around. The fourth one, and the most important one for you, is the green room. This is the waiting area for presenters. So we'll get to this in a minute, but basically this is where you will be held by our AV host until you're ready to be brought live into your session. And the last part down here, oh, sorry, we'll go back to that, the Q&A. It's the tools option page, sorry. We've got our tools option pane. On the far right, you will see some functions such as media, recordings, live polling, live Q&A, and more. And then that bottom bar at the bottom is our tools menu, and that's where that provides host presenters and any non-presenting support staff access to different options for the current presentation. So, let's get one more slide. Before the event, you will receive an email, which will be about the 20th of November, with your personalised link to log into the on-air portal. Please make sure you keep this email handy so that you can easily log on into on-air whenever you need to. We recommend that you try logging in early. So in other words, don't wait until the day of to try logging in. Just try your email and PIN, make sure it works, make sure it takes you in there. You won't be able to get into your presentation, but you can go and have a look around the platform. And we also recommend that you make the time to set up your profile. So every delegate presenter has a profile where you can actually upload a headshot, put some information about yourself, put your LinkedIn links and any other information you want to put in there. Strongly recommend you do that because that really helps with your networking. Also, very important, please make sure that you use Google Chrome as your browser to access the OnAir portal, because it doesn't really like other browsers. And I think that was also in the notes that was sent to you as well. So when you log in, you will see a main screen. Obviously, it will be branded Virtual Cleantech Conference, and you'll be looking for the your Knowledge Bites session. So click on the join button on your session, and then you will be placed into the Aircast studio. So when you're in the session, and we recommend that you join at least 15 minutes prior to your presentation time so that you've got plenty of time. At the bottom of the studio, you will see a tools menu with a number of buttons. The most important thing to remember here is that you have to push the present button to enter the speaker green room. So by pushing present, it won't take you into presenting mode, it takes you into a green room. So this is where you'll be met by one of our AV team. Just to run through some of those other buttons at the bottom there, we've got the camera button to start and stop. By default, your camera will be turned on when you enter. And also with the microphone, that will also default to on when you enter. And then you'll see the settings button there, which you can select this to review or change your audio and video options. So once you're in the green room, where you'll be met by one of our AV team who will just they have a chat with you, make sure you've got everything, you know, your lighting and everything's all set. And if you've got any questions, you can ask them at that time. Once your presentation, your pre-recorded presentation has played, the host will then move you to what we call the main stage, where you can answer any questions. During this time, you will see the countdown going down, so you know when you're about to go on. You'll also be able to see for any questions coming through. So you will see those coming through, and that'll give you an opportunity to, I guess, gather your thoughts and think about how you want to answer those before you go live. So the live Q&A, how this works is this option, there'll be a button down the bottom that you'll need to click on to bring that up. And so this option displays the live Q&A panel where you can review, manage and respond to questions. We do recommend that you respond to them live and speaking rather than trying to type questions, because you just won't have the time. There's also a discussion forum, which is a little bit like the chat function on Zoom. And this is an informal text chat area for attendees and presenters to have conversations before and during the session. The other button that you'll also want to take note of is the control room chat. This is a private chat between you as a presenter and our AV team. So if you're having any difficulties with anything, you can chat to them that way. So just for our last slide here is about promoting your involvement. You should have all received yesterday, I think it was. It went out an email with a selection of artwork files to assist you to promote your session to all of your contacts. So you've got a range of graphics there to put on social media, email, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. It's really important that you make sure you let everyone know that you're speaking and make the most of your speaking opportunity at the Virtual Cleantech Conference and encourage them to attend. As a speaker, we've also provided you with the opportunity to offer your colleagues a discount to attend the event as well, just so that because they know you, and they just need to enter speaker guest 10 when they register, and that information was in the email about promotion that went out yesterday as well. So that's the end of our presentation. So who's got some questions there? So just unmute your microphones and let us know your questions.
Hi, this is Grant from Zen Ecosystems. I just have a question with regards to the pre-recording. It mentions here that you need to record it on Zoom. So is that because of the file format, or we can't actually? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the easiest way of doing it, and the reason for that is because you can present your screen and also show your face at the same time. So that I guess if there's another way you want to do that, you can. But Zoom, we just think is a tool that everyone has access to. It's pretty simple and straightforward. We've put instructions for that, but if anyone's stuck, please feel free to contact us on that.
Okay, so we could still use our own methods when you could have our face, because what we were planning to do is we could interleave it with actual workflow videos. Or do you always need to have your face beside your presentation?
Yeah, it's just much more engaging for the audience if they can see the presenter at the same time like they would in a live event. So that's our preference. To have it that way, and I guess ultimately it just needs to be in that MP4 format when you upload it.
Okay.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, I was considering doing a video which involved me being outside at our site where our project is, and putting it into MP3 format, to sort of delivering a video and then sitting down for the quick Q&A section.
Yeah, I think that would work fine. So in other words, you're saying you're not going to have any slides as such. You're just going to do a to-camera piece outside, which will be your presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that would be great as well. It's just a different way of doing things. As long as it's in that format, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else with some questions? Okay. Well, the only other thing I would also say to you all is if you have an opportunity to go in and have a look at the VCTCE program, it's nearly full. We've still got a few more speakers to announce. But just have a look through, because obviously you'll all be attending the conference as well, and just familiarise yourself, because there's a lot of content and a lot of sessions, and you might want to start planning out which sessions you want to go to as well throughout the 3 days. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up there. We're at 49 minutes. I didn't do too badly. And as I said, any questions, please email either myself or Kenrick, or even give us a call. And we are more than happy to help you with that.